I love Persona 5. It's one of my favorite games of all time. I named my firstborn child Persona 5. My wife left me. But it was all worth it, because now that it's finally out on the Nintendo Switch, I can play it for the very first time. The game makes you sign a contract saying that you understand that it's a work of fiction, which I assume most people on Twitter who have played this game totally ignored, because I think they think the Phantom Thieves are real, which is weird, because I thought everyone knew that thieves don't really exist. You know, like ninjas. But suspending our disbelief, we learn that our main character, Joker, is a thief who stole a briefcase from a casino. Give him the death penalty. Yes. We're taken into police custody, treated to police brutality, and are forced to sign a false confession under our own name. Now, Persona is a series that can get pretty dark, so I decided to name myself something the opposite of dark. You know, something light. And for the last name, well, the game is set in Japan, so I just picked something vaguely Japanese.
It all started when I was walking home from school one day. I had just gotten done with improv practice, and I was very, very hungry.
Excuse me, sir, do you know how to get to the nearest Arby's?
Ah, my bones! He sued me for all that I'm worth, and that's how I ended up here.
Yeah, that's great, man, but all I asked for was your name.
Hey, what you trying to say to me?
Wait, I don't see how this is relevant to the Kira case. I'm just setting the scene, but I can skip ahead if you want. So anyways, once me and my now best friend Ryuji escaped from the dungeon, we knew we'd have to fight our way out. Luckily, I used my latent psionic abilities to summon a mythological trickster to butcher all the pumpkins standing in our way.
Wait.
No, the magical monster cat was friendly after all, and he helped us escape.
I get it. Context is important.
So we went back to the Brain Castle a few days later.
Have got to be kidding.
But this time, it was for revenge. Kamoshida had a tendency to give heartfelt speeches to the volleyball team.
You serve no purpose in life.
And I guess this one struck a chord with my other best friend who I just met, and close friend.
It looks like he may commit suicide. Suicide is badass.
This is deeply tragic. Our cat told us that we could go back to his mine castle and murder him for revenge, and that the crime would be completely untraceable. So the three of us got to work. I replaced my mythological trickster with a cup goblin, and also... After progressing through the only well-designed dungeon in the entire game, we finally make it to the throne room, where we find Camo Sheep. His combat strategy usually involves drinking cheap wine and berating scantily clad women, but thanks to our new pal, he goes down in like 4 hits.
Attention students, Mr. Kamoshida has died from a heart attack at the age of 27.
And when I saw the deep sadness in his eyes, I knew I was doing the right thing. My cat taught me how to access the public collective unconscious, and that is when I realized that I am the only true form of justice. And so we began. We decided to have a party to celebrate our great deeds, and come up with a name for our group, and only one name fit. You see, we had to get the police off our backs, so we decided to go with the name Kira, which kind of sounds like the English word for
Satsujin-sha.
So if the police try to look for us, they'll be looking on the wrong continent. Now, everything was going super smoothly until we encountered some creepy stalker pervert on the subway, who actually turned out to be the average artist. He invited us to an exhibit, and there we decided that we wanted to kill his dad. He was a bit hesitant at first, calling us psychotic and, "How did you get in my house? I'm calling the police." But we eventually wore him down, and now he's on our side. Just in time to enter his dad's brain castle, which is a museum this time. The palace manages to run the gauntlet of having multiple storylines, interesting puzzles, and multiple sections that are all fun in their own right, and you better enjoy it because this is the last one that pulls it off for the next 75 hours. But the suffering is for later. We're having fun now. We make it to the end of the palace and steal his heart, which is actually a painting. Not a very good painting. Anyways, Mr. Painter's dad shows up and
Yusuke, me boy, I'd like for you to not steal my painting and murder me, please.
I understand.
By the way, I killed your mom.
Now, Paint Dad is 4/4 of a face in a fight that usually requires you to coordinate your attacks to hit all the weak points on the bust, but thanks to my new best friend Thanatos Picaro, I don't have to do silly things like work or use my brain. I love video games. After killing Yusuke's dad, we do boring school stuff until
Seatbelts, everyone!
our school is going through some budget cuts, so instead of going on a field trip to Washington, D.C., we're instead sent to Budget Persona 4. This is where we meet.
Hello, my name is Goro Akechi. I'm basically Light Yagami, but for the sake of this video, I've been put in the role of L. Anyways, I think there's a 5% chance that you are Kira.
Well, that was weird. Anyways, we go to find our next target, but as it turns out, they find us first. Apparently, we're in debt to the mob, because Yusuke took out loans to buy art supplies in bulk because the only thing his father gave him were lashes. Personally, I blame Ryuji. Regardless, we enter the mind palace of the mob boss and do the only logical thing we can. We kill him, defile his corpse, rob it, and burn his entire enterprise to the ground. Of course, you know we had to leave his head on a pike in the middle of Shibuya as an example to others who dare try to cross us. You guys are still claiming to be the heroes, right? Right? Everything was going great until we got a mysterious threat from an anonymous hacker threatening to expose us as Kira. Everyone freaks out over this, even though it's clearly spam, and deleted. Why do I hear sirens outside my house? Well, the police caught a local meth dealer, and the group vetoes me, forcing us to track down the hacker. We accomplished this by sitting around, eating snacks, and breaking into Coffee Dad's house. I'm not really sure if we had a plan here. I wasn't really paying attention, but luckily it somehow worked out because Coffee Dad had a secret daughter who never leaves her room, goes to school, or takes a shower. I see why many of you relate to this character. Turns out she's been living there since her mom died, and Sojiro just never forces her to leave. I'm like 90% sure this constitutes child neglect, and you know, the only solution to this kind of problem is therapy. We're going into her brain palace, and she's either going to stop being depressed or we're going to murder her. This is a child, right? Technically, legally speaking, yes. But was it really attempted child murder if it was in another dimension? Yes. This palace has the unique distinction of being a literal straight shot, while having the best theme that isn't in the glorified DLC. But before we can kill the child, a giant bird shows up and wrecks our party. But luckily, the child manages to cure her depression by having a pep talk with herself, and awakens to her persona via Japan? And okay, so just give me a second to explain. Because since this is her palace, she can control things and make things appear. But since the bird is just part of her brain and she knows it's not real, shouldn't she just be able to make it go away? Why do we have to fight it? The whole palace blows up at the end regardless. What was the point of this fight? Anyways, after not just one, but 2 separate beach episodes, we finally get to fight the ultimate evil. That's right, our next target is Ronald McDonald himself. But not before a subplot where the cat runs away because Ryuji called him a bad kitty. Now he's being killed. I was going to kill Ronald McDonald, but his palace is long and horrible, and the music that it plays makes me want to kill myself, so I just decided that it wasn't worth it. Luckily, it didn't matter because someone else killed him for us. Thank goodness, because a timed boss fight with unskippable cutscenes and an infinite amount of reinforcements being sent in to do nothing but burn down a 30-minute clock would be a horrible design for a boss. I am truly grateful that nobody is incompetent enough to put that in a video game. Anyways, we're just chilling at Disneyland when we get the news. And by news, I mean his brain shuts down and he starts bleeding from the eyes on live television right in front of his daughter. Brutal. There is not enough therapy in the world to fix that. Anyways, time for more cutesy school activities. In this scene, Akechi eats a really spicy meatball. And in this scene, he threatens to expose us to the police for our crimes against humanity. Wait, that's not funny. But luckily, the evidence is incredibly underwhelming, so instead, he joins our group under the pretense of helping us secure criminals and not kill them in order to prove our innocence. Unfortunately for him, I was one step ahead, sealing away my memories of being a criminal and joining him as an innocent high school student who definitely doesn't fantasize about killing people in his free time. Also, this is a royal thing, but that's the version that I'm playing. And there's like a 5-minute animated cutscene of just Kazumi dancing to weird elevator music. And it's still going. So now we get to everyone's favorite palace, the casino. And can I just say, I freaking hate this palace. Like, I get it, the vibes are there. This palace feels like it should be fun, but let me tell you, I have played this game like 3 times, and there has not been a playthrough where the backstage area with the slot machines has failed to give me a massive headache. Why do you people like this palace? Anyways, we cheat our way to the top just how God intended, and come face to face with, I have literally no recollection of any of this. What are you talking about? Well, we tried to kill an alternate reality version of you, which in turn would cause your brain in the real world to explode and stop functioning. Adding that to the record. But unfortunately, the fight was cut short by, well, you remember. And that's how I ended up here. You realize you just admitted to at least 18 counts of murder, breaking and entering, and dealing with the mafia, right? Or did I? Send in the execution squad. It was me, Kira. I was the executioner the whole time. But little did he know, I was already free. You see, the me that he killed was the me with no memories, but I was waiting in the police helicopter the whole time. All according to all according to plan. So, now that I'm out of jail, I think it's time to slow down and reconsider my life of crime. Yes! We shall kill the President of Japan. Only then, none will question our power. We break into the Mind Palace of Isam and discover that it's a boat. If you understood that reference, I think you're very cool and also 12. Electric Samuel's palace is pretty notorious for revealing the gamer's true nature of being a little rat. And I know most people freaking hate these sections, but honestly, this palace is the first time I've felt anything since we killed Yusuke's dad, so it's pretty good in my mind. Regardless, after killing his 4 evil exes, we finally come face to face with the main man himself.
Shadow the Hedgehog's a bitch-ass motherfucker!
This boss fight is approximately 72 phases, which is way too many phases. Persona 5 might have cured my autism, but it has given me stage 5 depression. I want to be done. Please, I want to be done. I have been editing this video for 6 months. After his big blast, I'm left to face the President of Japan in a one-on-one fisticuffs. But unfortunately for him, I brought a knife and also a demon, so this fight wasn't really fair. But unfortunately for us, the President is a sore loser and kills himself IRL to take us down with him. It doesn't work, mostly because Ryuji does a fake-out sacrifice to save us, and then gets murdered for real for comedic effect. Finally, at long last, we've done it. We've finished Persona!
Ho, ho, ho! I am Santa.
What the fuck?
I have put the world on the naughty list, and I will wipe out all of humanity.
Seriously, this was a Death Note spoof. What is going on?
And now I will kill you with my Santa Blast!
We're dying. If only there was enough Christmas cheer in the world to help us defeat Santa. Now that the public believes in the Phantom Thieves again, well, I guess we kind of skipped that plot point, huh? We have the power to defeat Santa. I guess your bells just got jingled. Hey, this is post-editing Bicken. If I sound weird, it's because I am sick and I feel just fantastic. But I have been crunching to get this done because I know if I don't get it done by the second, it's never getting finished because my life is about to be consumed by Persona 3 Reload. But yeah, if you enjoyed the video, let me know. Do the thing, the like and subscribe thing. I like seeing the number go up, and you'll like getting my videos in your inbox once every 6 months. Also, I have a Discord. I keep forgetting to mention it in my videos, but it's pretty cool. We do game nights sometimes, and I just got Jackbox, so yeah. Anyways, that's really all I have to say. No, you can go now. Go on.